I do something called the 5-star shout out. I'm not gonna say it because I don't believe in it. I don't believe in you can't make a you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Wake up. Let's get down. Yeah. Anyway, how y'all doing out there? This is Jawn, your host Dennis Holmes, and your co-host, the Chocolate Girl.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Glad to be here on my favorite day of the week. Happy Saturday, y'all.
Yes. We got special guests in the building. Marcus AplphaBetts is in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing, man? Appreciate the invite. I had to come through. We've been talking about it, and we finally made it happen. Appreciate the invite.
Most definitely. Now, first thing we always do is ask everybody, how was your week? So with you being the guest here, let me ask you, how was your week?
It's a good week, man. It's we're starting to warm up a little bit, and doing that Texas living. Probably be up having some pancakes and the coffee and all that good stuff. A breakfast burrito with some chorizo. Y'all don't know what chorizo it is. Y'all don't know what
chorizo is.
Chorizo is
sausage.
You ever come over here to West Texas? Not just Texas, West Texas. Okay, I'll get you squared away over here.
Okay, all right. Chocolate Girl, how was your week?
Fantastic. I have no complaints. It's been great. It's been great.
Well,
warming up. The days are getting longer. I'm waking up and there's sunshine coming in my windows now. It's not pitch black already because over here on the East Coast we get the change sooner than everybody else, and I love it.
Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy.
That's right.
Don't the time change on Sunday? Ain't we about to jump spring forward, fall back?
Oh, tomorrow? Is that tomorrow?
That's on Sunday. That's on Sunday.
Yeah, tomorrow. Okay. I don't know. I think so. I don't know.
I think that's the week. Spring forward.
I have to.
Somebody in the comments will tell us.
You got some smart people that watch our show, man. Very intelligent.
Very intelligent. Well, I didn't have too good of a week. Now, personally, with me, I'm cool. Let me just get that out the way. I'm cool. Health is going by pretty good. The job is okay. Bills is getting paid. Family's good. I want to say it was Tuesday. Tuesday, it was 65 degrees outside. I should have known. It's going to be some shit. I should know it's going to be some shit. It was 65 degrees, and I had sat and I seen Mr. Softy outside. And I know y'all ain't got a Mr. Softy everywhere, but it's the ice cream man. Ice cream man was outside. And I said, yeah, it's going to be some shit. This is the hottest day of the year. Sure enough, what happened? It's a mass shooting in Philadelphia. I said, oh, here the hell we go. First hot day of the year, and we got a mass shooting already. And we just got the mayor that we got, Miss Parker. Shout out to her. But damn, I know she like, damn, I just got here. We already got a mass shoot? Damn. Like, yeah, this is Philadelphia. It was a mass shooting that day. It was a shootout the day after that. I knew it was something because it was hot. I said, it's too hot. Some shit going to go down.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. Me personally, I'm cool.
Natives were restless. They couldn't wait.
I seen a fight happen, and I just took it as it was just a regular day. I should have known because it was too hot. That's what it was. when you start drinking that malt liquor, and the malt liquor get hot, and if you're not drinking cold malt liquor, is a problem.
Don't blame it on
If
the
your
malt.
malt liquor ain't got ice coming down on it, is a problem.
See, malt liquor get a bad rap. Don't be blaming it on my malt liquor.
Yeah, malt liquor, man.
These kids
I tell everybody, you cannot drink no hot malt liquor. That's a whole nother level of malt liquor. You got to drink it cold. If it ain't cold, it ain't right.
Well, hot malt liquor is nasty anyway. So you shouldn't drink hot malt liquor.
You shouldn't drink any hot beer.
No, you're right.
Beer ain't supposed to be hot. Unless you're drinking like some sake or something like that in Japan. That's about it. You can drink sake. I want some hot ass Coors, some hot ass Budweiser. That don't even sound good. Wait, OE? What's it be? The old English? The
OE and the Billy D. Williams. That's what we drinking.
My uncle, he used to drink that Blue Bull, the Schlitz. Y'all remember that back?
Oh, that Schlitz malt liquor? Oh man, not the Schlitz malt liquor.
Not the blue.
The blue
one. The Blue Bull. Schlitz malt liquor.
Yeah, that Schlitz, man. That was he started early too. He started about 11. Rest in peace. He started about 11 o'clock. About 6, 7 o'clock at night, he was done. Come here, nephew. Nearly burned my eyebrows off. He had so much. He
and he got so much to talk about.
It smelled like a straight brewery, man.
I never liked the Schlitz.
That Schlitz, they got the red one,
OE, Coke 45, and Mickey's. That's it.
Mickey's, the little joints. Yeah, over here they got that Crazy Horse. I don't know if you ever heard. When I went to basic training, that's what it was like made in like North Dakota, that Indian beer, that Native American beer. I'm like, man, you just eat one of them and you be done for the rest of the night, man. You be done.
I never had one. So
and them damn what was it? What was that? Mad Dogs. We get a couple of those Mad Dog 2020s. You remember those? The orange Jubilee.
Orange Jubilee.
Just thinking about it make me I get drunk just saying it, man.
My dad told me, he said, listen, go in the cooler and go get the wine. I said, Dad, ain't no wine in here. Ain't nothing in here but some Mad Dog. He said, that's the wine. Get out there. I said, ain't no damn wine, man.
You didn't get you that Thunderbird, or that Boone's, that wino wine.
Let me tell you, that Booze Farm was 3 bottles for $5 when I was in college. That was the shit right there.
You got 3 bottles for $5?
Bottles. Yeah. 3 bottles like this, like bottles of wine. 3 for $5.
Y'all can see here, we're showing our age here. We all showing our age here. So these young kids have no idea what the hell we
that's when you could drink beer and wine at age 19.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I was able to buy it, because I was 19.
Yeah. I'd be at Fort Lee. Be at Fort Lee. We go down to the Class 6 and get a couple of those, and we were good. We were good. We were good to go.
What was your favorite Boone's? Boone's, the country.
I like the
apple. I love the apple.
I like the fuzzy name. Well, I ain't gonna lie. Because I'm a big peach. I love me some peach. I love me some peach. Peach everything. They got the Minute Maid peach punch. They used to have the peach. Sharon, I don't know if you. I like Crush. The Crush soda. They got
I love Crush soda.
The peach Crush. You don't see it no more. They got the orange Crush and the grape Crush. Yeah. But that peach Crush, you can actually order it on Walmart. I'm gonna get me a case. Then the next time we do a wager, that's what we gonna wager. Cowboys and Eagles, we gonna do a peach Crush wager.
I remember when the peach came out. I remember that.
The back of the day, I'm telling you,
the peach was good.
That was the one right there. You don't really see it that much anymore.
But grape was my favorite of the Crushes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of that. They got some good. They got the pineapple, strawberry.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
And then like so when Magic Johnson opened his movie theaters, he like most franchises and stuff, they just do the Coke and Pepsi product. Magic Johnson had the damn crush on the fountain drinks at the Magic Johnson movie theaters, man.
That's what you got.
I never been to a Magic Johnson.
He got the crush joints on the fountain at the movie theater where they do that, and they love it. That's why all the other movie theaters wasn't doing that. It was like revolutionary. So
yeah, he was the only one selling food out of the movie theater, and I was like, why nobody gonna start it?
Yeah, what you want
now everybody doing it.
You want a barbecue sandwich at the movie theater? Not that I would know because I don't ever pay for concessions anyway. But anyway, it's like that we going to the dollar store first.
I heard that.
Hey, hold up, man. Let me just tell you. Let me just tell you what we used to do. Not only did we go to the dollar store, but the fried chicken from yesterday that came in the movie theater too. All right, just want to let you know. Fried chicken from yesterday was in the movie theater with us. All right.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they wasn't selling food at the movie theater back then. I just don't understand.
People looking around. What the hell? They started serving Polish sausage.
Put a whole sub out.
Right.
We going out. Sharon, bring your biggest bag. Bring your biggest bag.
Right. They never check the women. They never check the women.
I got something for you. I never had to bring a bag. Let's just sit there for a minute and think about what I'm saying. Okay. I never had to bring a bag.
I got you.
I didn't need a bag.
I got you.
I had, but my food was hidden and nobody ever found it. That's all I'm gonna say.
And it was warm too.
Wait a minute. Hey, all right. To the show.
No microwave needed. No microwave necessary.
Do not comment back on my neck.
Family show. This is a family show. Family show.
I thought I was the nasty one on the show. Y'all are crazy.
No, you are. Make no mistake. You the nasty one.
Terrible. She over there frying chicken in line. Ain't this some shit? Anyway, anyway, we are here to put it on a pod series where we talk to people who have their own podcast platform, and we want to know exactly how they started, what went on, and what made them come about being put it on the podcast. Now, Marcus, on the other hand, has a show called the AplphaBetts Show that airs every Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern.
During football season.
During the football season. It's a football show. Make sure we get that out the way. But Marcus, first thing I want to know is, what made you come up with this show? What made you come about?
I wasn't even trying to get into podcasting. I actually kind of got into it by accident. I was asked to come on because they're like, I love football. I've always loved football. And that's no offense to other sports. I played football. I think football helps develop a lot of things that I think that we need more in society: teamwork, camaraderie, selflessness, mental and physical toughness. So I've always taken a liking to it. And then I was asked to help with a show, and then I was asked to be a co-host, and then we went on with it. I started off with William Richter. That was off the Richter scale. I started doing that, and then we got an opportunity to do something else, and I was offered my own show. And then after that, I was like, well, you probably want to have a co-host. And then I asked my co-host now, Ramona Dye, and we started the AplphaBetts Football Show. We're going into our 5th year, and the rest is history, man. Me and you, we've done a lot.
Now, I know these answers, but people going to want to know. When did you get offered your own show? We were with the On Point Network. We had started with that, and they offered us an opportunity to, and they're like, hey, you want to do a straight up football show? And I was like, yeah, and we did that, and then we branched off and started doing some other things, and just things that weren't even really planned. It just kind of
went this way, went that way, and we got a really good reception and stuff like that. And we rolled with it and been doing it ever since.
That's good. That's good to hear. Now you were with the Rise Up Sports Network. Shout out to the Rise Up Network. I started with the Rise Up. Well, I didn't start with the Rise Up Network, but the Rise Up Network helped me get to where I'm going. So definitely got to get on there.
Shout out to Andre Robinson. He really, hey man, you need to do this and started with it. And, me and you, we've done a lot of stuff. We had the NFC East show for a little. We did that for a little bit, and just good stuff and had an opportunity. It's cool stuff because you really get an opportunity to link up with some really good people. I had an opportunity to shout out to Mookie Hawkins, Dr. Pat Freeman, June Pierre. I've done some stuff with him. Rev T. We really had an opportunity to link up
Rev T. Man, I ain't seen him in a minute. Whoa.
Man, that guy, he's a character, man. I don't know what he's doing. I need to link up with him and see what's going on with him.
Yes, we do. We need to link up with him and see what's going on. That Rev T. I never met Dr. Pat. Never met Dr. Pat.
Oh yeah, he's he got a book out.
The crazy thing is, I started listening to Dr. Pat first, and then met Andre Robinson. Right?
Okay.
Because Pat used to come on Facebook during like regular times during the day, and he would talk about his Buffalo experiences and what's going on with the Buffalo Bills and everything. And then next thing you know, one night I met Andre Robinson. And the rest was history, and that's how I got into Rise Up. But yeah, I never really got a formal introduction to Dr. Pat. One day I do got to meet him, see if I get him on the show. Maybe you could connect us to see what
he's an awesome guy. I just interviewed him. We interviewed him on the show in Vegas because he was there at the Super Bowl. Got a book out.
That's the first thing I noticed when I watched him. He's been going to the Super Bowl since about like '93.
Yeah, he's out, man. He be grinding, been doing it for like 30 years, man. He's a staple in the community over there. Owns a restaurant in Atlanta too. Got a barbecue joint over in Atlanta too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they do Philly. They do Philly. Probably not like the way y'all do it in Philly, but I think they serve Philly cheesesteaks over there, man. He got a restaurant in Atlanta.
I'm just gonna let you know. I'm a little bougie. I don't eat cheesesteaks outside of Philly.
Yeah, I feel about Mexican food. I got you, man. I got Mexican.
No, it ain't that. It might be. He might have a real good Philly cheesesteak. I just don't eat Philly cheesesteaks outside of Philly. And maybe I need to cross over and stop being so stubborn, but I just don't. And I know y'all about to say something to me in the comments about why don't you eat Philly cheesesteaks outside of Philly? I just don't think that they taste good. I had an argument with my girl because she lived in Jersey at the time. And she was like, "Oh, we can get a cheesesteak now." I ain't get no fucking cheesesteak from no Jersey. No fucking cheesesteak. We can eat something else. We can eat some pizza. We ain't get no fucking cheesesteak from Jersey.
Everybody think their food from wherever it's from. You talk about barbecue. Like, you tell the person from Missouri that their barbecue ain't it, or somebody from Tennessee, but everybody in Texas think we got the best barbecue. It's just, wherever you from, the interpretation, the opinion,
When I went to Memphis, they swear on their gold sauce.
Yeah.
They swear on their gold sauce. You got to try the gold sauce. And it's like that. Yeah, you like that in a lot of places. They really serious about their sauce and they barbecue, and they got the best barbecue. You're right. It is what it is. I ain't hating on nobody. I know the best brisket I ever had came from Texas. That's what I always say. Best brisket I've had came from Texas. There ain't nobody touched it.
Right. Yeah. It's all subjective, man. It's all subjective.
Yeah, definitely is. With your podcast, so you've been doing it 5 years, almost 6. But another thing I want to know is what's been some like the difficulties that you've been through in your podcast? What are some things that you were just like, oh man,
people they talk about wanting to do it. It's a lot of work. If you're doing something else and if you're not making money with it, it's not. So it's a lot of research. I tell people, do your research. It's because you get up on here on these shows and you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You just talking out the side of your neck. You don't know what you're talking about, man. You got some down in them comment section, they'll get you. What the hell did you just say? What did you do? Like, so you have to prepare, you have to study, and it's time consuming. And probably the biggest obstacle was probably the COVID season. That was kind of difficult, because it was just, it was tough, with the games, it was kind of like the bubble in the NBA. It was just kind of tough, so that was probably the toughest thing during that season there during the COVID. That was probably the most difficult time.
Yeah, I think one of the most difficult things for me was probably I would say the way other people interacted with the fans on the show. That was one of the more difficult things for me. Like, I didn't have a problem. You came on the show and you was talking about me. I ain't care. If you was gonna talk about me the whole show, talk about me the whole show. I really don't care. Obviously, you like what you seeing on TV because you ain't got nothing else to do. That's the way I seen it. But other people couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
And other people would sit there and be like, "Oh, I'm really not feeling this. This such and such is talk about me like this." And obviously, you really wasn't built for it. That's just what I'll be trying to tell them. You really wasn't built for it.
Yeah, you gotta have tough skin.
If you think this little bit is bad, that somebody just typing and watching the show and typing to talk about you, what's going to happen when you go outside? Because at this time we was COVID, we was inside. Yeah. What's going to happen when you go outside and somebody see you like, "Yo, I seen you on the podcast the other day. You was talking about," what's going to happen then?
Yeah.
Like I wear my fucking hoodie, sweatshirt, t-shirts. I got all my apparel on. People see me, they be like, "Oh, this thing a podcast." Yeah, I seen your show the other day. It's actually a conversation, and some people don't like what I be saying all the time.
Yeah.
So those are some of the difficulties that I've been through. I know another thing. I know another difficulty you've been through is with the merch. Now, a lot of people always ask me about merch. Like, then you started off hot with the merch. Why you stopped the merch? What happened? Well, I'm gonna tell you my difficult part with the merch.
Okay.
My difficult part is the vendor.
Yeah. Yeah. It's you have to find. You got to find good vendors. I had some difficulties before. We got some defective stuff that I didn't really like. And, it's got your name on it. It says I didn't physically make this shirt, but it's like I'm involved in what it looks like. And you want to put a good product out there, and then you have to find a good vendor. I've been fortunate at first, maybe not so much, but more so now. I have people, look, I need this, I need that, and they're on it, so and it's a good way, I see people wearing my stuff. It's it's a nice feeling when you see somebody rocking your stuff, it's a good feeling.
Yes, it is a good feeling when you walk down the street and you actually see somebody wearing your stuff. That's definitely a good feeling. Now, all you talk about basically is football, and you actually have a segment on there where you say it's levels to this. What made you come up with these segments?
Well, I'm not going to sit up here and act like I was the first person to say it. I got to give Philadelphia a shout out with Meek Mill. I also credit him with that. I say, like Meek Mill says, there's levels to it, but it is, anything that you do, there's going to be levels to it, and you have to understand where you're at in that level, and when you're not at a certain level, you need to level up. So, I like that. I like competition. There's nothing the matter with competition. People view competition as, friendly competition. Me and you, we have competitions, that's just the kind of person I am. And it's not anything derogatory or anything bad, like malicious. I like to compete. Fantasy football, real football, spitball shooting contests, whatever. I like to compete. So for me, it's all fun. Me and you, we have friendly wagers all the time with Cowboys and Eagles, and I just like to compete. So for me, that's what it's about, just competing, getting out there and competing.
Yeah, that's definitely what it's about. And you also have one called the AplphaBetts bits, which you need to bring that back in heavy rotation. I'm just gonna put that out.
Yeah.
There.
Okay. that's a lot of work. I'm probably gonna have to do it on something else, maybe like TikTok. I'm not really on TikTok like that, but just the way society is now, people have short attention spans, and the show's 2 hours, and most people, they're not, hell, movies are 2 hours, hell, Avengers was 2.5 hours. But you have to try to get people's attention and get them in there, because people are, it's fast society now, instant gratification, and people want, they want results fast. So yes, it's good stuff. I really enjoyed making those.
Yeah, the Alphabet Bits, because they were like a quick segment on something that you were like really thinking about. That's what I want to let people know. Like, he'll have an Alphabet's Bits where, like, now this would be a good time if he want to do one on the draft. He'll have it about his favorite players, which he calls his pet cats. If y'all haven't seen the Alphabet show, he calls it pet cats. So he'll just give you, one guy he'll talk about for a good 60 seconds to a minute and a half, and he'll let you know exactly how you feel about him, pros, cons, and good, bad, and ugly. That's what his Alphabet Bits are. For those in the comments that don't know what Alphabet Bits is, I'm break it down to you. I think he should do more of them, especially with the draft coming up. He could give his pet cats, give about 5 players that he like once a week. Go ahead and give out Alphabet's Bits.
Speaking of that, man, we just did we just had the combine here. Is there anybody, looking at that just real quick? I want to know, I know this is your show, but anybody at the combine that just kind of, your pet cat that you just saw, like, okay, I like this dude. Is there anybody that caught your attention out of there? It's the underwear Olympics. I understand that, but is there anybody that like really got you?
Well, it wasn't to me. Lately, it ain't at the combine that they get me. It's actually during the season when they get me. Okay. That's when they actually get me. So I usually watch them during the college football season, and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's who I want. That's the guy I want. Like that corner from Iowa. That corner from Iowa was pretty good. I know he's white. I know everybody will say he's a white corner.
Cooper DeJean.
Right. Yeah, he's a white corner. Then you can say what you want. That boy good. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take him. That boy is good. I will take that white corner from Iowa. I know it's Iowa. I know he's white. I know there ain't that many white corners in the NFL. I know how y'all feel, but I'll take him.
Give me T'Vondre Sweat. I watched this. I watched this kid. 3'6", 366. A garbage can full of dirt. You ain't moving him, man. You ain't moving that dude. And the way he moved, now I still would kind of like to see him down to maybe about 345. I think 345, 366. I think that's a little bit heavy. I think you would have some stamina issues, but I'll enjoy watching him play. I think one techniques, nose tackles, I think they kind of, are undervalued now, but I really like him.
Yeah. That's why I thought y'all should have went and got Sayaki Aki.
Yeah. Well, I think they tried with Mozzie. They
made him lose weight. They made him lose weight.
I didn't get that. I mean, came in, he's 350. And you tell this man to get down to 298, that's what you brought him. He's a one technique. He's a nose tackle. What are you trying to get this man to what are you trying to get him to lose weight for? I don't understand that.
Well, the prototypical defensive tackle that everybody wants is Aaron Donald. And you got to realize that Aaron Donald's a once-in-a-generation player. So
he's a three tech. He's a pass rushing defensive tackle, but you still need that guy on there. On the line, that big, just one tech nose tackle. You put him next to him, and you let this guy, and you let that 3 tech, attack from the inside. But I still think that they've gotten away from that kind of like the fullback. I think you still need that one technique on your defense. I really do believe that.
I believe so too. But then I always say that y'all need to beef on the defensive line so your linebackers can flow, because y'all don't have a problem getting like a lot of people kept saying, oh, Bell is undersized. If y'all don't know, Marcus Betts is a Dallas Cowboys fan. Let me get that out the way. But a lot of people kept saying Bell is real undersized. I'm sitting here looking at Bell like, if you get him 2 big-ass D tackles right there, he'll make the play. He can make the tackles, man. Like I understand that he's only 225, but he can make the tackles. It ain't that he can't tackle. He can make the tackles. He just need not to be touched by offensive linemen. Offensive linemen cannot touch him.
Are you talking Bell or are you talking Nakobe Dean?
No, I'm talking about Bell from your team.
Oh, you're talking Marquise Bell. Okay, Marquise
Bell. Yeah.
He's 205, Dennis. He's 205.
Yeah, right. But he can make all the tackles.
Yeah, you still got to be. You do need those guys up front to keep them off of you, but I also got to be able to. You also got to be able to hold up at the point of attack. I can't have no 205-pound middle linebacker. That's just way too small. Now, if you want to play him as a nickel linebacker on passing downs where you want to move up in case they run a draw or something like that. But when they're running a heavy run formation with 2 tight end sets, like the way Green Bay did when Aaron Jones is running up and down the field, or when you're doing that against Buffalo when James Cooks is running up and down the field, and they're running 2 tight end sets. That's too light. That's just too light. Yeah, that's too light.
That was the adoption that Dan Quinn couldn't make.
Yeah.
And that's why I said it. And it never looked like that y'all was going to go get big defensive tackles. So that's why I kept saying, if I'm Dan Quinn, I'm getting out of here. That's why I kept saying it. And everybody kept saying, oh, no, you just want them to get out of here so their defense can be bad. I said, it's not that their defense is going to be bad. It's just that he can't get no better.
Yeah.
So the only thing you're going to do is go from sugar to shit.
Yeah.
That's all you're going to do.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think they prioritized linebacker. You know, they lost Leighton Vander Esch with the neck injury. I think his career is over.
You lost their neck
I just don't think that they ever really addressed that linebacker. You don't need the big 250-pound guys like Ray Lewis, but you can't go out there with 200 with converted safeties trying to make them play middle linebacker either. That's a recipe for disaster.
But I understood what he was trying to do. He was trying to make sure that he was always aware for passing down. So when the tight end came up, he had a linebacker, he had a safety covering the tight end. I understood where he was going. It was smart in not getting beat by tight ends who were good, but it was dumb in trying to defend the run.
Yeah.
That's basically what I was saying.
For sure.
Yeah. But back to your show. You have an amazing co-host, Ramona Dow, who I wish could have been here with us today. How have y'all been as co-hosts? Because I know sometimes me and Sharon, we will go at it a little bit, and Sharon has been like pulling and tugging with me on communication, and has been so upset with me on my communication. I mean, it is terrible, but I'm a work in progress.
Yeah, look, there's going to be disagreements. You know, there's going to be back and forth. You know, and there's a lot of things that people don't see. A lot of times, people think that me and her agree on everything, and we don't. We fuss and fight. Y'all don't see it. You know, she's very opinionated. That's why I chose her as my co-host. I knew she was going to fight me, and you need that. You need people to press you. You need people to push buttons. You need people to motivate you. You need people to be the yin to your yang. You know, and to me, that's what makes a show successful is when you have. Look, if we agreed on everything on the show, then that's really kind of boring. You know, nah, Marcus, I don't agree with that. Hell, you know, people want to see, and that's the praise now. You know, the first takes and the undisputeds and the get ups. They want to see competing personalities. Stephen A. versus Max Kellerman or Skip versus Shannon for a little while anyway. You're gonna have that. You know, it's a debate. You know, and opposing opinions, and it makes for a good show, in my opinion.
That's good. Now, this is one of the reasons why I said that, because with both of y'all, this is the thing about the both of y'all that I like about y'all. Y'all are not just football people. Ramona is also into boxing just like you. Why didn't y'all go into a little bit of boxing? Why just football?
We do a show once a week, and it's time consuming. You know, it's really a lot of work. I don't know how people could do like shows, you know, like when you look at like the big corporation shows, the First Takes, the Undisputeds, they have researchers and they have like staff that does a lot of their stuff, that statisticians and things like that. You asked me earlier, what is one of the misconceptions about, podcasts like that? And I'm a firm believer, the preparation, the getting ready for the show, making sure that the sound's good, making sure that you got your topics, making sure that you got your numbers, and you can tell the people that just kind of throw stuff together, you can tell and that's why I don't really work with a lot of people that don't take it serious. I take it seriously because I'm like, it's got my name on it. So right. I take it very seriously with it. I'm very selective who I let come on my show, because I'm like, you try to keep a clean show. Everybody's got their style or whatever. I mean, I try to keep it fairly clean. We have a little, we get a little rowdy sometimes, but especially when you're putting your show on YouTube and stuff like that, you got to kind of watch the language. You got to kind of watch, the things that you say and stuff like that. But the main thing, preparation, that's the thing that just makes it really time consuming. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, definitely a lot of work. They always ask me how I do so many shows and how do I keep it going. I said, man, you got to watch these games. You got to write things down. If you got to text it to yourself, text it to yourself. And and it's crazy because while I'm at work, I'm still doing things with the show. Like I'll have one earbud in listening to my old show to see how I get better for the new show. And where I made mistakes at and where I need to go be different. And what clips I need to drop. Oh, let me drop this clip. Let me drop that clip. Let me do a clip over here. Let me drop an old clip. It's Throwback Thursday. Let me drop an old clip. Always good to throw an old clip out there on Throwback Thursday.
Yeah, I remember back in the day you doing the question of the day. By the way, you need to bring that back since you want to tell me I need to do my AplphaBetts.
You might be right. I need to bring back the question of the day. You might be right.
I always enjoyed that, but yeah, this preparation. You can do this. If there's somebody out there that wants to do a show or whatever like that, you can do it. Just understand it's time consuming. If you want to have a good show, if you want to put some garbage out there's a lot of people putting garbage out there. But if you want to put a good quality show out there, it's a lot of preparation and studying and research and things like that.
All right. So I'm gonna ask you about these two fights, and then I'm gonna let Sharon come on. All right. We got Ryan Garcia going against Devin Haney, right? That's April 20th. Now, how do you feel about that fight?
Ryan Garcia, I think he really got exposed by Tank Davis. I think he has defensive issues. He pops his head up when he throws a punch. His defense is terrible. He's kind of a one-trick pony to me. He's a hooker. He's a hooker. He likes to, and Tank even told him, he's like, all you got terrible defense. You ain't got no footwork, and you got that raggedy ass hook. And I just think that for Haney, you need more. Now, this will probably be the biggest test that Haney's had since he's been. I'm gonna have to lean towards Haney, but I'm expecting a good fight. I'm expecting a good fight, but I have to lean more towards Haney on this one.
I'm gonna tell you like this. This is my opinion. I think Devin Haney got exposed last year in the fight with Lomachenko.
Okay.
That's what I think. I think he got exposed. Now, I'm a big Lomachenko fan. And a lot of my homies not. They're like, what are you liking this boy? He's not even that good. I'm like, man, I got Lomachenko. And Lomachenko won the fight against Devin Haney personally to me, but what came down to the cards, they gave to Devin, whatever. But I believe he got exposed. Now, Ryan Garcia, one thing he could do for sure is sell a fight. So one thing for sure, if Devin Haney win this fight, his purse about to go up because now he'll know how to sell a fight instead of his dad selling the fight for him. Because that's what's going on. His dad is selling the fight for him. but he needs to learn how to sell a fight. I'm excited to see that fight. Hopefully, I get everything right that I could go to Brooklyn to see this fight. Because that was the first thing I was saying. Like, man, I wish this fight was in Brooklyn. I don't. It was like, no, it's in Vegas. Then they canceled me in Vegas, put it in Brooklyn. And I said, all right, they listened to me. Now I gotta go. Like, that's just how I felt on that. But in Texas at AT&T Stadium, July the 20th, Mike Tyson will be fighting Jake Paul. As much as I know that you don't like the internet thugs and all that, this guy Jake Paul is doing things in boxing on a box office tip that is getting him those eyes. That's all I'm saying. They get some paper out there.
Man, there's an old saying: people love a show. They'll come to your coronation, and they'll also come to your beheading. Okay, that's Jake Paul to me. I think he's been skating over, fighting these has-beens, fighting guys that he outweighs 50 pounds. Look, Mike, of course, what's Mike? 56, 57 years old. That's still Mike. Mike can still punch. And if you looked at the Roy Jones Jr. fight, I thought that there were times there Mike was kind of pulling punches. It was like, and kind of reminded me, I don't know if y'all remember the movie Rocky Balboa, the one where he fought Tarver, and Tarver told him, he's like, look, man, he goes, if you push me, if you embarrass me, if you cut me, if you do something, like, I'm going to hurt you. And I think that's he told Rocky that I think his character Mason the Line Dixon, I think that was his name, but it was Antonio Tarver. It was Antonio Tarver, and I think that's what I think. Mike said, look, we're gonna put on a little show here, but if you press me, if you get rowdy, if you start trying to clown me or do something stupid, I'm gonna put you to sleep. I'm gonna put you to bed. So I'll never criticize somebody on how they earn a living. It's a living. I think it's a clown show personally, but I'll never criticize somebody for trying to make money or whatever like that. But I want Mike to crush this dude. I really do, because you got these guys. Just fight, man. Just be a regular fighter and be a boxer. You're fighting a near 60-year-old man. Didn't he fight? It's like, come on, man. I'm just like,
I think it's a setup. So when he do go to boxing and become pro, I guess, in boxing, I don't know what he got to do to become pro. Don't give me. I don't know what the politics is in boxing.
Pro is if you're getting paid to do something, you're a professional. That's pro. That's the difference between amateur. That's the difference between amateur fighting and professional fighting. Olympics, you're not getting paid in the Olympics. Amateur fight, if you got 400 amateur fights, they're not getting paid for that. They're not getting paid for that. So that's why these guys go hurry up and try to go pro so they can get. But he's taking an unconventional route. He's fighting has-beens and he's fighting MMA fighters, in a boxing in boxing matches.
Right.
A lot of those MMA guys, they're pure MMA guys. They're not really good boxers. You see guys but
the thing is, he's winning. He's winning these fights, right?
Yeah,
and he's getting his purse up. So now, when he does fight a pro fighter, now he's always going to be the A side. So now, when they do the split, it's like, oh yeah, well, I've been boxing for 10 years. Yeah, but you ain't making the money I'm making.
Yeah. Well, it depends. He's been calling out Canelo. Now, if he gets in the ring with Canelo's gonna. But the man's 200 pounds. Like, didn't he fight Floyd? He fought Floyd too. Floyd is 147 pounds. What he's doing, these are spectacles. It's a clown show. You're 200. I know he's probably close to 200 pounds, a little bit over 200 pounds, and he's fighting a 140-pound man. Now you fight Mike Tyson, but it's always some gimmick to it. You're fighting a guy who you outweigh by 50 or 60 pounds. Now you're fighting a guy that's nearly 60 years old. It's Mike Tyson. So it's a win-win. I beat Mike Tyson. Then if you lose, it's I lost to Mike Tyson. But you beat a 60-year-old Mike Tyson. So it's just to me, it's a gimmick. I don't really like it, but we'll see what I ain't paying for it. If somebody got it and I can watch it for free, I'll watch, but I'm not paying for that garbage.
Yeah, I ain't paying for it either. I definitely agree with you. I'm not paying for that. And so how do you feel about Canelo as we wait for Sharon? How do you feel about Canelo and him not fighting Benavidez?
I think it's a disgrace. I live here in Mexican boxing country. I live right next to Mexico, and even ardent Canelo fans are disgusted, because I don't like it. And a lot of this again, these gimmicks. You got guys ducking guys. Back in the day when we were growing up, the best fought the best. Hagler, Hearns, Duran, Hearns, Hagler, and Sugar Ray, and all these guys. They were fighting each other. You got guys now; they're both in their prime, and they wait and fight. I've always felt, me personally, this is just me, and I've taken a lot of heat with this. I've always felt like Canelo was cherry picking. I've always felt, well, he's beaten all of these champions. Why are you trying to fight Bud Crawford? You fight at 168, super middleweight, light heavyweight 175, and you trying to fight Bud Crawford from 147?
Yeah.
But I beat a champion. Yes, you beat a champion. You beat a champion at your 3 or 4 weight classes higher than. Why don't you want to avenge your loss against Bivol, who beat your brains in? Now it's, I don't want to fight Mexican fighters now. You didn't say that when you had Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. peeing down his leg. He didn't want to fight you, but now all of a sudden no, I don't want to fight this guy. If I'm these guys, some of this, as much as I like Floyd Mayweather, I feel like Floyd kind of started this. You get these guys that become superstars in boxing, they can kind of dictate. And this dictate terms, dictate, where they're fighting, dictate the judge, dictate the ring size, dictate the referee. And it just takes away, to me, it takes away. And that's why a lot of these young kids aren't into boxing like they used to, because they're more into MMA now, because there ain't no hiding in MMA. If you're a top contender in MMA, you're fighting a top contender. You ain't fighting some tomato can has-man. You're going to have to fight those top fives in your weight class. So I just think it's bad. I don't really like it. He can say whatever the hell he wants. I think Canelo is scared, is terrified of Benavidez. I really do believe that. I think he's trying to get a couple little fights on his way out the door, and Canelo going to be down in Mexico in the next couple of years retired. That's what he's going to do.
All right. Okay, Chocolate Girl.
That was very interesting. I was staying behind the scenes because I didn't want y'all to see me falling asleep while y'all talking about combat sports, because I don't do the combat sports.
You don't do combat sports? Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. It was really interesting, hearing what y'all were saying. Yeah. I was listening the whole time and shaking my head. Yeah, I can see that. But anyway, as Dennis mentioned, you are a Cowboys fan, and you were living in the great. Were you living in the great state of Texas?
I do. Right? El Paso, Texas. El Paso,
Texas. Why the Cowboys and not the Houston Oilers and who's the Texans now? Why Dallas?
Okay, so I'm gonna give you. Okay, so I tell people this story here. I was born in Chicago. I had told you that. My dad was military. We ended up at a base in Clovis, New Mexico. Mm-hmm. So when we moved from Chicago, at that time, you're talking late 70s, early 80s. There were the Houston Oilers, Arizona Cardinals. Arizona was still in St. Louis. Mm-hmm. And then you had Denver, or you had the Cowboys. Well, you remember back in the day the show Dallas, J.R. Ewing, the Ewings, Cliff Barnes. Mm-hmm. And when I would watch the opening to that show, and yes. During that time, they would do the flyover over the old Texas Stadium and the music.
Yep.
and the
Dun, dun,
uniform, and that just got me. And I, my dad's a Bears fan, because they grew. I left Chicago when I was 3 years old. I don't really claim Chicago. I was born there, but I wasn't raised there. I grew up in a small town in eastern New Mexico, but that was it. That the show Dallas was just watching the intro to that show, and then just the uniforms, that navy blue with silver, and that was like it back in the day. Tony Dorsett. I nearly ended up a Raiders fan because of Marcus Allen, but it was Dallas. But I did wear, when I played football, I wore 32 for Marcus Allen because I always liked Marcus Allen.
Well, I have to tell you that Dallas, that show Dallas thing is a real thing, because I always hated Texas except Dallas. Yeah. That was the only place in Texas I said I ever wanted to visit because of that show. Yeah. That show did it for me.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that was.
Okay, I know this is not sports related, but if you had to pick one character on that show to be, who represented you on that show?
What?
Yeah, think about this.
I would probably say Bobby. I wasn't JR, because JR was just ruthless. Like, I'm not a ruthless person. Bobby Ewing, the younger brother, he was kind of he could be kind of a jackass too, but he tried to play fair, and he covered up a lot of JR's
crap. Mm-hmm.
So I would probably say Bobby. Bobby was, I thought he was a little naive sometime, and JR had to smack him around a little bit. But I'd probably say Bobby Ewing. I like Bobby.
Yeah, JR was a trip.
He was just a jack. Everybody when back in the day, and this is way back in the day, when who killed JR? It's like who couldn't have everybody wanted to get JR. So like it could have been anybody, them old whodunit mysteries. Anybody could have did it.
Everybody could have done it.
Yeah.
I swear. I always said I was Sue Ellen.
I like Sue. Sue Ellen, she was, she put up with a lot. She put up with a lot.
She was my favorite character on the show. Yeah, I liked her.
Yeah.
And then the mama.
Miss Allie.
Miss Ellie. She was one of those people who didn't play, but you didn't know she didn't play.
Yeah. Yeah. She smacked JR around sometimes too. I'm taking you and oil from you, and there ain't nothing you could do about it. Because in the end, it's really mine. I kind of let you do stuff, but if you make me mad, I will take all this away from you. So yeah, Miss Ellie didn't play.
Y'all know y'all can go watch them old seasons of Dallas somewhere. All you gotta do is Google it. You can watch it somewhere, Prime, somewhere. I don't know.
Probably YouTube. And then they had. I remember like in 2012 they had made a new one where like I think it was on TBS or TNT. I think it was, and like John Ross, JR's son, had grown up, and Christopher. And it was like a whole nother thing. But then the show kind of got canceled because Larry Hagman actually died in real life. JR's character. So
and actually, it was a good show. I don't know about it, but it really was good.
Yeah, they did a tribute to him. That after JR, Larry Hagman, who played JR, passed away, it was kind of hard. This kind of when certain characters go away on the show, it ain't the same show. Back in the day, Chrissy off of Three's Company, they tried to bring all of these other girls on, but it wasn't Chrissy, So
yeah, I mean, it was just like when Good Times after James,
after he died on the show.
They survived. They did for years after that. But it wasn't the same. People still wanted James to be on the show.
Like
get y'all figure out a way to bring him back.
You can't take out a character. 2.5 Men. You take out Charlie Sheen was the star of the show. You can't, and I know they put Ashton Kutcher on there, but he wasn't, because Charlie, whose name was Charlie on the show too. That really. It was sometimes I don't think he was acting. That really is Charlie Sheen. The way Charlie was on the show, Charlie Harper, that's really Charlie Sheen,
Well, Charlie was not supposed to be the name of that character.
No.
But they changed it to Charlie because they were concerned that he would not remember his name or to answer to it naturally. He wouldn't look natural enough. So they said, well, let's just call him Charlie. So we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
I tell you, that's funny. But anyway. Anyway, that's a good example though of a show that really lost its fire after the main person left. People wanted him to come back. It was really something.
Yeah.
But they killed him off. It got weird. That's what I'm saying. It got weird after that.
Yeah, it's like
2.5 Men got strange after that. Just like, it just got.
I'll tell you another one I'm mad at, and I'm a big DC and Marvel kind of guy. And when Chadwick Boseman passed away, and with Black Panther, and they just kill him. I'm like, y'all, like, look, you gonna kill off Black Panther? Like, come on, man. To
me, that was just lazy.
Yeah,
I think they could not creatively think of a way to honor and respect the man, but continue the character, because it's a skill to do that. And instead of taking time to figure it out and do it the right way, they just said, "Oh, we just," and they made it seem like, "Oh, well, we just can't put anybody else in that role because it was him and he was." No, that's not what it was. It was lazy.
Many times they didn't change James Bond or change Spider-Man. They went from Tobey Maguire to Andrew Garfield. Mm-hmm. If one of them passed away, you ain't just gonna be like, well, Spider-Man's dead. Exactly. Go find another Spider-Man. You had Christopher Reeve and Brandon Routh and Henry Cavill now, and they about to make another Superman. Henry Cavill died, so Superman's dead. It's like, come on, man, y'all killing me, man. What y'all doing, man? Come on,
You're right. Okay, enough about TV. I'm gonna go back to sports. But look.
We finally get a superhero. Y'all just gonna kill them all.
I know. You gotta be black.
A good superhero. Now, if it was, come on, man, y'all killing me. Meteor Man, y'all keep Meteor Man around back in the day, but y'all gonna kill off Black Panther that made all this money, made $1 billion at the movie theater.
It got the name black. It got the word black in it. That was just too black on people. But anyway, look. So you a Cowboys fan, right? But are you one of those people who believe you can only have one team that you ever root for, like ever in any situation?
You know what? I actually get a little annoyed with that when people. It's like, come on now. Now, I root for different teams. So even like with college football, I'm a big Longhorn fan. Okay, I live in Texas. I like the Texas Longhorns, but I got recruited to go to Texas Tech, which is 88 miles from my hometown. So Patrick Mahomes, that's where he went to school. I always, a guy who played for your Steelers, Bam Morris, I went and did a recruiting trip with him in 92. And I wanted to go play at Texas Tech. And they're like, if you come here, you're going to be a backup to All-American running back Byron Bam Morris. So I understand having it, but it's like, you can't be a Patriots fan and a Jets fan. You can't be a Steelers fan and a Ravens fan too. I like the Steelers and the Ravens. Like, nah, that's just too. Now, if you like, okay, I'm a Steelers fan, but I grew up in California, so I'm a Rams fan too, or I'm a Raiders fan. I could kind of see that, but I'll look at like, who are the two teams? You can't say you're a Steelers fan and a Ravens fan, because naturally, as a Steelers fan, it's just law. It's written in stone that you got to hate the Ravens. That's just what it is. So
it's blood, honey. That's blood right there.
Yeah, so I guess, I'm a Cowboys fan, but I'm a Bulls fan. And I live in Texas, so I like the Spurs too. I like the Wembanyama kid. But Michael Jordan in the 90s, I'm a Bulls fan, even though they've been terrible lately. But I don't like when people like two teams that are like, that go against each other. Because okay, who do you root for? Who do you root for then? Because to me, that's like old Stephen A. Smith. I get so mad with him because so you're a Steelers fan, but you're a Packers fan, but you're from New York, so you're a Giants fan. So it's just like whoever's good, that's the team that you jump on. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Well, you know, you've been knowing me long enough. You know who my team is.
Yeah.
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
You can't like the Ravens.
The best team on earth, right?
You can't like the Ravens. You just can't
I hate the Ravens.
You know?
But I will. I know when I first met y'all and I said that I don't hate the Cowboys, I was blasted for that. And I'm like, why are you blasted? What? I mean, they're not in our division or anything. They're not even in our conference. Why is that a problem? Well, back in the day, I was born then. I know about those Steelers and Cowboys matchups. I remember them things, but I never hated the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I used to love Roger Staubach. I loved Drew, what's his last name?
Pearson. Drew Pearson, the wide receiver. Drew Pearson.
Love Drew Pearson. I mean, I did. When we played y'all, it was war. I couldn't stand y'all on game day. But when y'all played other teams that I hate, I'm going the Cowboys.
Yeah. If I wasn't a Cowboys fan, I'm a football fan. So I like football players. Look, I'm a Cowboys fan, and look at this. I also like trophies, okay? But you see that big old star up there, behind me too, the Cowboys helmet up there. I like greatness. If I wasn't a Cowboys fan, I probably would be a Steelers fan because I like y'all's organization. I like the way y'all do stuff. I like the way that the Patriots
I have to co-sign that because ever since I met you, you have always given respect where it's due to the Steelers. You always have in my presence. You always have.
Yeah,
always have. Yeah, and I've always appreciated that, and I've always respected the Cowboys for what they are. People clown Jerry Jones all the time. Don't agree with the stuff he does and says. I don't either. But the one thing that man knows how to do is make some money.
Oh
yeah.
Okay. He's
watching his story has just been interesting for me. He takes care of that team, though.
Yeah. They love him. They love him. He's fought for a lot of people that probably didn't deserve a second chance. He gave, the Pac-Man Joneses and the Greg Hardys gave them chances. Sometimes things didn't work out, but he's the kind of person that gives people chances. I hear a lot of bad stuff about. I'd like to think if I had that type of money that if I could help people and be like, hey, we're gonna give you a chance. We're going to give you a chance to do something. I'd like to think I'd be able to do something like that.
He's a trip, but he has a heart. I still believe I see the heart of that man. Yeah. It's in there somewhere. People want to talk about the whole picture of him standing there where Ruby was getting escorted into school, and he was a young kid out there, and he was there. A whole lot of black people turned against Jerry Jones after that picture came out. I wasn't one of them.
Well, I'm thinking like too. If you're at school and you saw something like that, I'm gonna be standing there too. Now, if you throwing something at the girl, you just don't know. I mean, it's people. You don't know what you would have did back then because that was the norm then. That was the norm. For those white kids who had never went to school with a black kid, for them that was something to see. So. We have to learn from history. The old saying, he who fails to learn from history is doomed to repeat it. So hopefully, when you see that there's stuff going on now, and you have an opportunity to have a say so on certain things, and some of y'all are failing an open book test, things that we've already fought over, y'all are still failing an open book test. And I won't go too deep into that, but there's stuff that y'all could say and stand up for now, y'all still don't say nothing. So when you say, oh, well, that's wrong there, well, you have an opportunity to do something about it now and learn from history, and you still doing the same thing.
The same stuff. So
anyway,
I don't know what made me ask you about, but I just, I like Jerry Jones. I don't have any problem with that. But that leads to my next question for you, though. in the current NFL, let's talk about the position that you played, running back, right? What do you think of the way that the running backs are not highly regarded as they used to be in the past? Will it get better, or is the running back never going to return to being highly valued like it used to be?
Well, I just think that with a lot of the way that the rules are now, it's hard for running backs nowadays. They're going to have to. You're going to have to be better at catching the ball. I do believe the guys that were just hammers, guys that were just workhorse backs, the Earl Campbells, the Adrian Petersons. You kind of started seeing it there with Adrian Peterson, guys that get the ball 30 times a game. The Emmitt Smith, we before the show we were talking about Emmitt Smith and Barry Sanders, workhorse backs back in the day. I don't know if we'll see that ever again. I think nowadays with running backs, you have to be a dual threat kind of guy. You got to be the Christian McCaffreys, the guy who can get you 1,000 yards rushing and 600 or 700 yards receiving out of the backfield. Because that's just the way that the game is going now. It's a passing league. So running backs now, you've got to be able to do more. You can't just be, well, just hand me the ball. You got to be able to pass protect. Because if you can't pass protect, I can't have you out there because now my quarterback's getting hit in the back of the head because you can't block. So you got to be versatile. You got to change up your stuff. When they're having wide receiver drills as a running back, you better get over with some of them running backs on that jugs machine and catch the ball too, because that's where the game is going now.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with all that.
You look at your guy in Pittsburgh. Najee Harris, 240-pound power back he hits 70 catches his rookie year. I mean, hell, he was y'all's number 2 receiver that year. That's the way that's where the game is going now. You can't just be, well, just hand me the ball 30 times, because that's not the way that the game is anymore. That's just
not played that way. Yeah. So like I said, I agree with you. So it's not going to be us debating on that. We're not going to be opposed on this right here.
Yeah.
But I agree with you on that. But let me ask you this about special teams. There's all this talk about getting rid of the kickoff. You remember that? Let's get rid of the kick. What is your opinion on that? Because mine is, I think that's a ridiculous idea. That's just me.
Well, what they're doing now with the way that the game, again, that's something else that they're trying to take away from it now. It highlights the hypocrisy of the NFL, because they talk about, well, why don't you want the kickoffs anymore? Well, their reasoning behind it was, well, we don't want, what kickoff returns, you got guys running 30, 40, 50 yards down the field and having these huge collisions. But you have guys playing 2 football games within 4 days.
Right.
So miss me with that.
Right.
It's not that. And then you have to also look at taking out special teams. You would have taken away guys like, we wouldn't have had guys like Devin Hester or Dante Hall or guys like that, like return specialists. I don't like it. I really don't like it. Now they're like, you can't even start fielding the ball until after the returner catches the ball now. The only person that can move is the kicker now. I just don't like it. But it's the NFL. They're trying to squeeze out as much as they can. They now they talk about another game, taking away special teams.
18,
so now you want 18 games, but you don't want to pay people. You don't want to expand the roster. Well, if you want to have 18 games, you're gonna have to expand the roster, because you're gonna have more people getting hurt because you're playing an extra game. You want to have an extra bye week. If you're gonna play 18 games, I think you should have 2 bye weeks. That's a lot. That's a lot of football. This just, again, the NFL, they're just greedy. It just highlights their greed to me.
Yeah, I think they're greedy. And let me tell you, there's another reason why I think that's motivating them to do that 18th game, is so that they can get even further into messing with the NBA season.
Yeah.
I believe that, because their goal is to outshine them and just really demolish the NBA. That's what I believe. That's just what I believe. I could be
And I
wrong.
love football, but I just the wear and tear
Wrong.
on these guys' body, you know,
It's
it's like
terrible.
you go from 16 games, now we're at 17 games. Now you want to go to 18 games. Then you're getting rid of the preseason
Where
games,
does it stop, Marcus?
you
That's
know.
what I'm
And then,
saying.
and then you're having football during football season Thursday night. You know, you have Monday night, Sunday night. It's you know, once
It's just too
college
much.
is over, they're having games on Saturdays.
And
Then they
they're
got a
having
blackout Monday game.
they're having so many games so frequently. Sometimes they have 2 games on Monday and sometimes 2 games on Thursday.
Yeah, it's like it's
That's
just
crazy.
you're doing too much. Y'all
Yeah, they
doing
doing too
way
much.
too much.
So we agree on that. I think we talked about this before. I'm not going to talk about this, but okay, let me just ask you in general. What do you think about the status of college football and basketball? I'm not going to talk about tennis and baseball and hockey, just football and basketball, because that's the main focus of the NIL and transfer portal. And what do you think is about the state of college football and basketball in the future? How is it? Is it going to be ruined? Is it going to improve? Or is it going to?
Well, you know what? I'm going to always be, as a person who played college football, and as a person who has 2 sons that played college football, I'm always going to side with the student athlete. These talking about greed once again, the NCAA, these coaches, you come to my house and recruit me, and then you know, oh, we want your son to come play at University of Texas. Just using it for example. Then you get another job offer somewhere and you leave after 2 years. Now I'm stuck with a coach that I don't know, and then you tell me I can't leave. I'm making all billions of dollars for these universities, and then these coaches go off and make all. I don't like it. I'm always going to side with the student athlete. You know, you're trying to go to school, and you're basically making these universities billions of dollars. So for me, I have no sympathy for the NCAA. I love it that these kids are getting their money. You know, before it's like, we're giving you a scholarship. I can't take my girlfriend out for a pizza because I'm not making enough money. They're young kids. They're making you billions of dollars. I can't take my girlfriend out to the movies or for a pizza, and y'all are using my name and my image on a video game. Yeah, I need that. Give me my money. I need my money. So I'm going to always side with the kids, with these student athletes they're the ones they ain't coming there to see the coach. They ain't coming there to see. They're coming to see this player right here. So I need some of that money.
That's a common thought. I've heard that a lot.
Yeah.
But this leads to my next question, though. But you know, some people have the thought or the concern that the idea of compensating student athletes who are amateurs, really, they're not professionals, they're amateurs. But that it'll lead to the commercialization of even high school sports now to a higher degree. Do you think that's a legitimate concern, or is there nothing wrong with it?
Well, here's the thing, especially with football, your shelf life is so short. It's not like with tennis play. You know, we said we're not going to talk about tennis, but I'm using this as an example. You can turn pro as a tennis player at 14, 15 years old.
Yeah.
You can turn pro in baseball 16, 17 years old. Football is the only sport you can turn pro as a teenager in boxing. Mike Tyson was the youngest heavyweight champion ever. But you're telling me you got to stay here and I can only make a certain amount of money? No, I don't want a cap on that. And you have some kids that are just phenoms. They were bred to play football. And just like the Williams sisters, they started off playing tennis, or Tiger Woods in golf. And he turned pro early. I believe if you have some of these football players that are able to do that, not all of them can. Everybody in basketball can be Kobe Bryant straight from high school to the pros, or Kevin Garnett or guys like that, or LeBron. But you have people that are exceptional talents, and you need to compensate them as much. That's the way I feel about it. Pay me my money. I'm a capitalist. Give me my money.
All right, Stephen A. All right, Stephen A. I'm a capitalist. I am too. I'm a capitalist, but I don't know. I've been talking about this subject of paying student athletes since 2015. Yeah, 2015. And I don't know. I still have a problem with it. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm just mentioning it. I still have an issue with it. I can tell you why, but it would take too long. That's one thing to even talk about. And it's not that I'm against the athlete. I'm pro athlete. I'm pro player. But
these universities use these
kids. Effects of it is what bothers me. It's more than just, you can't just have tunnel vision trying to correct this problem right here by making these general rules. That's my issue. The real problem with the system, the way it was, still is not being solved by NIL and transfer portal the way they have it set up. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be a transfer portal, but the rules that they put in there are actually harming the sports. That's how I see it. And then,
here's the thing. Back in the day, if you wanted to transfer,
thing.
If you could, back in the day, you couldn't transfer.
Oh, I know.
I didn't like that because I'm like, I'll give an example. My son, so he goes there. They're a run-first football team, okay, and his coach gets a better job, and my son's a running back, and the coach just ups 1 year. I'm leaving. Well, you recruited me. Now I got a new coach here who's passed a pass first offense.
I agree. That's wrong. I agree.
I don't like it. So back in the day, I couldn't transfer. Oh, if you want to transfer, you have to sit out a year. Well, I can't be 24, 25, 26 years old still playing college football because you decide as soon as you get a better opportunity, you tell these kids loyalty to the school and stuff. But as soon as you get an opportunity to leave and you want to go to a bigger program, you just up and leave. And I'm stuck here with this dude here who don't know me, and he might not like me. Then he's going to recruit
and I agree with you that is unfair. Okay, I do agree that is unfair. But what I am saying is the transfer portal, the way that it is now, it doesn't solve the problem. Yes,
I can get.
Wait a minute. It solves some aspects of it, but let me tell you what it does at the same time. It opens up a whole nother can of problems over here. That's the issue that I have with it. Because not only does the player get to move, that's great for them, but let me tell you what that does for his own development, his or her own development. You know how you have professional athletes, they play their sport, they retire, and they look back at their career and they say, well, damn, if I didn't have 8 different coaches in 4 years, I know I would have been better. But I always had a different coach. I always had a different quarterback. I played for 15 different quarterbacks. You hear it all the time. And I'm telling you, if it affects pros, you know that's going to affect college.
Yeah, but these kids are able. So look, let me give you an example. Now, you know, Nick Saban just retired, right, from Alabama. Now, think of all of those kids that he recruited that are still at Alabama right now. Why did they go to Alabama?
For Nick Saban.
So why in the hell am I going to stay here in Alabama?
No. Again.
Yeah.
I agree with you. We are on the same page, but I'm saying that the way that they wrote the transfer portal rules is foul. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be able to move. They should. Yeah. But the way that they mapped it out is creating a whole nother big problem that they didn't even anticipate. And they don't even know how to solve that.
I don't understand. What is your?
Okay, let me tell. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what those problems are as a fan.
Okay.
How many years has this transfer portal been around? Is it 3? in the
like
3
2 or
years,
3 years. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Since the transfer portal, what I have seen, it has affected the product on the field. Did it affect the product on the field for all colleges and universities? No. But in some of them, it affected in such a way that they have grossly fallen off. Grossly, because you don't know who you're going to coach the next year.
Well,
because rather than
Okay.
just losing four players, you about to lose 15 or 20, maybe that many in 1 year, 1 season. And then guess what happened the next season? I lost 15 or 20 more. And you expect me to win. Now, did that happen at Georgia? No. Why? Because they stayed. They chose to stay.
But here's the thing about it. Certain school. Look, the big programs, they're going to be good regardless. Texas, look, I live in Texas. The Texas Longhorns will always have good players. It don't matter who. Ohio State, those big Power 5 conference schools, the Ohio States, the Michigans, the USCs, the Floridas, the Texas, they're going to Oklahoma, they're going to always be okay.
There's really only 5 schools you can say that about.
Yeah, that's what
5 out of the hundreds. There's only 5.
But back in the day, back in the day with like Alabama, for instance, they got guys they're 5 deep at running back. Do you know that they had Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Alvin Kamara, and a few other running backs on the same team, and they can't get on the field, and now I can't transfer. So I'm sitting here, and my opportunity to play in the NFL is diminished because if I don't play, I don't get seen.
Hey, I got it. Like I said, I'm in agreement.
These kids at Alabama that Nick Saban
that's gonna hurt the product on the field.
Yeah.
And as a fan, I don't like it. I don't like my friend calling me, who's an assistant coach on the team, and he's telling me, what's going on behind the scenes with these transfer portals, and I'm like,
what a lot of these coaches don't like.
And I mean, this is a Power 5 school, okay? And he's like, but Sharon, we can't. What are we supposed to do? We can't, blah, 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 blah. And I mean, this is a large university that doesn't usually have to worry about this type of thing. It's not like bum university over here that nobody heard of.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about them. What I'm worried about is the competitive nature of the schools that we expect to be wherever at the end of the season. It doesn't have to be the same ones in the CFB. It doesn't have to be the same schools every time, or I should have said a college football player of the CFB
playoffs.
But it doesn't have to be the same schools as before, the blue blood schools. I got it. And people are like, well, good. The Alabamas and the Texas and the Georgias, they just gonna have to get used to not always finishing at the top. And people love it because they hate the schools anyway.
Well, here's the other thing about it too. They're expanding the playoffs.
But when it comes down to their school that they like, they're gonna see what Sharon is talking about.
People complain about the BCS, so they complained about the AP poll. I remember back in the day was the AP poll. They didn't even play. It was just like whoever's highest rated. They didn't even play. Number 1 didn't play number 2. It was just like whoever finished number 1 at the end of the year. Then they had the BCS. Now they got the college football championship. It was 4 teams. Now they're going to 8 teams. And here's the thing, Sharon. Somebody will always not like something. If they have 8 teams, you know who's going to be mad? You know who's going to be mad? Number 9, who didn't get in. Oh, we got cheated. Why didn't we get in? If they go to 12 teams, guess what? It'll be whoever's 13 going to be mad as hell. We should have been in the playoffs too.
I don't even like to even talk about people complaining when they don't get in. We'll talk about it because we have a podcast, but I'm like, whatever. Whatever, Florida.
They cheated us. They cheated us. Look at our resume. We got. It's like whoever they could go to 20 teams. They could go to 20 teams, and guess what? Whoever's
Somebody
number
gonna be
21 gonna be mad as hell.
Yeah,
Hell, they
I
got
know
6, what they had is like 64 in NCAA basketball, and whoever's 65, why didn't we get in?
Let me tell you my prediction. My prediction is when it comes a time that the college football playoffs, 8 teams that come down to the final 8 and then down to the final 4 are teams for colleges that not a whole lot of people like. So nobody watches. They're going to change that shit back. Just mark my words. Because it's not going to sell tickets and it's not going to bring money and advertisers to TV. I'm just telling you, it's going to happen eventually because it's the trickle down of it all. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. It's already started, but people don't all see it yet. But I can see
I think it's going to go like this. I think it's going to be the teams that pay it's going to be like near semi-pro football. And it's going to be the colleges that can raise the most money with the NIL deals. And you bring in, like Texas with Arch Manning. And then he ain't even the starter. They got Ewers starting. And you got Arch Manning, Peyton and Eli's nephew sitting on the bench. Well, it's just whoever, and that's why they try to keep that out of the NFL because if you could just go out, like NFL ain't like NBA where you could just spend as much money as you want to, or like baseball. It's going to get to a point where it's like only 3 or 4 teams are winning because this team here can make like the Oregon Ducks. Phil Knight he's the owner of Nike. He's the damn alumni for over there. They got buku money, or they got like 200 different uniforms. So when one team just start, it'll just be a monopoly, and then people get tired of that too. But people just like to complain.
I don't care what he does at Oregon. Yeah. Ain't nobody mess with that Texas oil money. I don't care what you do. I follow this group. It's called something NIL something, right? So I'm reading all these articles about the NIL. What I'm going to be curious to know is the ranking of who has the top NIL deals each season. So I didn't look this season yet. I haven't looked at it. I'm sure it's out there.
I can tell you the two highest paid NIL guys right now. I can tell you right now.
What schools do they go to?
The two, Arch Manning.
And where does he go?
Number 2, Texas, and number 2 is Bronny James. Oh, and he goes to USC.
He goes to USC, so that's California. Plus, that's basketball. But in football, I'm saying in football, nobody mess with that Texas money.
Yeah,
nobody's gonna mess with that. Now, will you have one year that maybe a school might outdistance a Texas school? Maybe, but oil money, that's old.
Yeah,
money.
That's
money upon money upon money. Okay, Nike, that's cool. Ain't got nothing on that oil money, honey.
I think
they got money that all people got money that people don't even know they got.
He ain't even the starter. Sharon, Arch ain't even the starter.
I know it.
And in the top 5, a couple of other people, Shadur Sanders in Colorado and Travis Hunter, they're up there too. But that's mainly because of Deion. If Deion were to lead Colorado today, they'd be just like the way that they were. They wouldn't be making no money. So it's just, we're going to see here. People complain about stuff, and sometimes something else worse comes along. So just keep complaining. Keep complaining.
Yeah,
Y'all
all right,
see.
Dennis, where you at, Dennis? Are you back there? Because that was one of my last questions. But I want to ask you this question as Dennis is coming back, and I want to talk about my girl Ramona one more time. I love Ramona. That's my heart
Ramona.
right there. That's
we
my
love
fellow.
Ramona.
Yeah, that's my fellow Pittsburgh Steelers protege. I love it. I love her. If there is one thing that you have learned from Ramona, just one. I know you've probably learned more than one, but what sticks out is the one most important or the biggest thing that you have learned from Ramona in this podcast world or something else.
Well,
Life.
disagree is not disrespect. You know, a lot
Mhm.
of times people think that because you disagree with somebody that you don't respect them. You know, it's not. It, just because we don't see eye to eye, I don't think that's not disrespect. And she'll tell, like, Marcus, this is what I think about this. Now, we can argue opinions. Now, we can't argue facts. It's like, you know, we can, but you come together, you have your disagreements, and you go. It's kind of like a on camera marriage, you know. And it's like you have your disagreements and stuff like that, and life goes on, you know. And it's I can't imagine too many more people that I would want to do that with. I don't really do shows with a whole bunch of people. Like, I kind of look and see how people run their stuff, and it's like, yeah, you come, Marcus, come on, I ain't coming on your garbage ass show. And that's just, I would never say that, but that's what I'd be thinking. So, you know, I really, you know, for me coming on and talking sports and talk whatever, I like to talk. I can run my mouth all day, but that's the main thing. Disagree is not disrespect. And, you know, it's people like to see counterbalances. That's what my dad calls my mom, his counterbalance. And it's like, you see two people from two different worlds. She's a white woman from Virginia, and I'm a black man that lives in Texas. They come together and do a show, and people are just like amazed, you know. So it's a microcosm of society. You know, when people from different walks of life can come together and come together for a common goal, you can do anything.
That's good. That's good. And your show is dope, by the way.
I appreciate that. We put a lot of I put a lot of pride into it, and you know, in the logo and everything that we do.
And let me tell you, you guys do come on at a great time. I'm just usually beat by then. The week has just gotten to it. It's so wild when you start your show. I pop in and be like, "Yo, what's up?" Right? Yeah. And I'm about ready to watch the show, and I will turn around for a hot second. Next thing you know, I'm waking up and the show about to end, and I'm like, damn it. So I do go back and watch the replay. Yeah. I do watch it.
A lot of people, that's what they tell. It's tough because it's Friday night, and like some of my younger people, they're, you know, they got kids in school. They're playing high school football, and I've had people, Mr. Betts, can you come and watch my football game? I'm like, young man, like, I'm doing my show. Then there's been, you know, I've missed one show in 5 years, and to go to the show, I actually went to a high school football game for a kid down the street to go watch his game, you know. So it's I really enjoy it, and it's fun. It's really fun.
Well, I think you guys come on at the perfect time. It's like Tuesday is a perfect day, and so is Friday, especially given the way that the football schedule goes.
Yeah.
And Dennis knows I've actually thought about this, about doing a different type of show, and I was like, but I can't compete with Tuesday, and I damn sure don't want to compete with them on Friday. Yeah. So I'm like, I couldn't. I don't have another day to do it. It's just the best day to do it. A NFL football show. Yeah. Tuesday and Friday. That's it.
It's tough on Saturdays. You know, everybody's getting up about to watch, you know, college football. And then Sunday morning, everybody's kind of waking up and they get ready. I'm watching my fantasy football shows, getting ready, you know, setting up my fantasy football lineup. So it's like it's perfect.
And you know, and Sundays are out because football is on Saturday, on Sunday. Then Monday, you got Monday Night Football. Yeah. So if you do a show on Monday, I think June does a show on Monday, but his show is perfect because what he's talking about is perfect for being on Monday.
The Monday morning quarterback?
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah. I ain't gonna do what he's doing, you know. I'm gonna copy him. That's my dude. I'm not gonna do that. So it's like, you know what? This is leave it alone. Because I was gonna do just a Steelers show, an AFC North show, but I decided to leave it alone for that reason. It's hard to do. on
It
a,
really,
on a
really
different
is
on a
very weird.
different day for me
Yeah.
with my schedule. I just couldn't fit it in a right time slot, so I just let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go. I hate that I had to do that though, because I really still want to do a AFC North show. I do.
Maybe y'all can do it once a month.
I thought about doing that, and it just still didn't feel
Just
right.
trying to find, you know, we were trying to find the time with that
Yeah.
NFC East show. It's just this again,
Oh.
it's with the preparation and everything to go. You trying to, and then when you got 4 people trying to get 4 people to come together at the right time and stuff like that, and 4 people in different time zones. I live in Mountain Time, they live on East Coast. We got some, you know, it's just kind of tough.
Let me tell you what our difficulty was.
Yeah.
Finding our number one difficulty was finding a Cleveland Browns fan that we knew. We just said we couldn't find one, so I was like, forget it. Just forget it.
I tried to get him walk. I don't know if that'll work out though.
He don't like me.
I don't know.
He doesn't like me, so I don't think that would have worked.
I don't know how well that would
work. I ain't never heard him say he ain't like you.
Do you usually?
I've heard some people tell me. That he like you.
Do you? You usually hear a person say they don't like another person? No, they don't let you know. They just don't like you. But anyway, well, that's all my questions. Back to you, Dennis. This was fun, Marcus. No argument.
Sure, I appreciate.
We just chatted it up with no argument.
I appreciate the invite, man. Anytime y'all ever need me, I'll pop up in here and just give me a heads up, and I'm here, man. I appreciate the invite.
Good.
Yeah.
Now, Dennis,
you were saying something earlier. You were saying something earlier about people invite you to their raggedy show. I understand it a whole lot. I've done a plethora of raggedy shows. Just say that.
Too.
I've done a plethora.
And look, if you do what you do, and look, people, you let people be them. That's it. But I ain't gonna be part of it. You know, right. Marcus, come on over here, man. No.
And then I, you know, like I'll do it, and then I'll sit there and I realize, and I'll be like, I ain't going down on that show.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I remember I did one raggedy show, right? Did one raggedy show, and after the show, I was like, I think you should join my network. I said, what? What network? He was like, you should join my network. I said, what other show you got on the network? No, this is the only one I got. There's just one show. And that's a network?
Yeah, you know, I'm like, I gracefully bow out. I have no problem gracefully bow now. But this has been fun. I really appreciate, you know, coming through. And
definitely appreciate it. I'm gonna let you go after this question. Just want to know, you know, the 2024, the presidential election is coming, even though that's not the biggest election out there, but you are very politically connected. That's one thing. You know, your mom. The matter of fact, give us the story about your mom. She done ran for and how you.
My mom, she done ran for office. She done ran for office, and I totally disagree with you. This presidential election is very big. This is the biggest presidential election that we've ever had, and that is not.
But it's not the biggest thing because the House got a lot of seats up for grabs right now as well.
Well, here's the thing with this, and this is what I try to tell people about the presidential election. The presidential election is so important because, yes, presidents only serve 4 to 8 years, right? But you know what their biggest power is? They appoint Supreme Court justices. Do y'all remember the MWO in wrestling?
Right.
For life.
Right.
The Supreme Court justices that these people put on, they will be serving still when your grandchildren are adults. Clarence Thomas been a Supreme Court justice since '85. So the presidential election is very, very serious because these are people here that have power over, you know, those Supreme Court justices, Roe versus Wade, and things like that have been, you know, understood law for the past 50 years, and you have people dismantling stuff like that. So it is not an understatement to say that this election here is the biggest election because you're looking at if Trump were to win another term, Clarence Thomas will probably retire, and he will put another Supreme Court justice in their 40s or 50s, like Amy Coney Barrett, on who serves for life. Mm-hmm. So for all you people out there that, oh, I don't care, and making what about isms, you better pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
And you said Clarence Thompson. Clarence Thomas. That's the same Clarence Thomas. I want to make sure I say this.
Please,
I like when I talk about
Clarence
Thomas.
Stop.
Yeah,
Stop.
Clarence Thomas and Anita Hill. That's the same Clarence Thomas.
I knew it. I knew it. Tabloid Den.
That's the same.
I'm just saying. People are trying to make what about isms and stuff like that. Look, unfortunately, we have only two choices. We got a septuagenarian and an octogenarian as the leading contender for their.
This
okay, that's what we're a 77-year-old white man and an 82-year-old white man, a septuagenarian and an octogenarian. One is 2 beers short of a 6-pack, and the other one's a damn Nazi sympathizer. You make your choice. So when I hear, everything's the same. What? Well, he did this 40, 50 years ago. Well, I saw this guy do this in the past few years and call the Georgia state attorney and ask for 11,000 votes. Where I'm from, and anywhere else in the United States, that's voter fraud. That's voter fraud. That's voter fraud. And this man is doing everything that he can to try to delay justice. What's that old saying? Justice delayed is justice denied. He's hoping that he can, push all this stuff past the election so he can get rid of all these kids. Because the man is crooked as a letter S. And
oh, wait a minute. Well, that lady that tried to get him in Georgia, I'm mad I don't know her name right now. And I should have had my notes.
Talking about Fonnie
Willis. She says it's Fonnie. I say it's Fannie. I don't care.
And again, they're trying to. What she do? Is it technically wrong? No, but the perception sometimes becomes reality. I'm not saying don't have a relationship. I'm just saying, look, there's too much at stake. If you want to, you just got divorced. Look, we can have this relationship, but we got a mission right now to deal with this here. We can have this relationship later on, but we got to do this. Like, don't give them any ammunition to try to muddy the water. And that's what I'm upset with her. I'm like, for you to be an educated woman like that, I'm not saying y'all are two consenting adults, but there's too much at stake.
That's right.
I'm upset with her about that's bad decision making.
It was just a stupid move. Wasn't it?
Again, is it illegal?
No, it's not illegal, but it's stupid.
Just
but wait a minute. Don't let me get biblical on you. But everything that's permissible is not beneficial, folks. That's what I keep telling. Just because
my dad has a.
You can't do it, don't mean you should do it.
My dad. What do I always tell you? What do I always tell you? You tell me it shouldn't be like that. And I always tell you, those at work relationships are the ones that happen the most. I always tell you that.
What starts
and at the biggest stage when she got this motherfucker Trump grounded. I mean, she could drown his punk ass. That's how she got him. And at the biggest stage, she had to get off.
What did Denny Green say when they played the Bears? When he was with the
you want to crown him? Then crown him.
You got him off the hook. We let him off the hook. You got this dude. You got this dude by the
cornered on the ropes.
And you sitting out here, and I'm like, I'm not saying don't look. We can have this relationship. I really like you, and I think maybe we could go somewhere with this. But we got a mission here. I thought that was the best case because they got him on tape asking for the votes.
Well, let
and
me
you're
say
sitting
this.
over here, and it's like, dude, like this just
Now-
too
now
much
the
to say.
case
I'm upset. I'm kind of upset with her, and people. Oh, Marcus, I'm upset with her because I'm like,
yeah,
it's,
I'm
to me,
upset
it's bad judgment. It's just
very,
really
very
bad.
But let me say
But-
this though. According to the so-called experts, even if they dismiss her and him off the case doesn't kill the case.
Yeah,
They
it
can
does because
it
the
to
whole
somebody
yes,
else.
it does because the whole office gets disqualified. The whole DA office gets disqualified.
See, what the guy that I was watching said that it doesn't have to go that way.
I'll send you the links. The whole
Okay,
the whole
that's fine.
thing.
That's fine. But he was just saying, I know people are saying that, but he said, but there is a chance that it doesn't have to go that way. And he laid out these reasons, and I'm like, bruh, I don't believe the guy either. I'm just telling you, this is what he said. He's so-called expert. But here's the thing: if this happens, and because of her, he slips through the cracks, and he gets, I don't know. It's gonna be war around.
See the thing with it was it's a state case. So even if he won the election, you can only pardon federal cases. To me, it just, what were you thinking? What were you thinking?
Just
messy. What starts messy ends messy.
Now y'all see why I say Marcus need to be doing other things in football. Y'all see what I mean with the politics and the boxing. Y'all see what I mean?
I will say this: Marcus stays informed, and I'm telling you, every now and then he'll slip me something, and I'm like, "What?"
Yeah,
I didn't even see this.
The whole Fulton County. If she gets disqualified, the whole Fulton County DA office gets disqualified because they have all of those people that's underneath, and they're like, "Well, y'all are all tainted too." So it's bigger than you. It's bigger than you.
And honestly, it's gonna look bad on her too.
And again, having a relationship that is it illegal? But no, it's like the appearances of it. The appearance, it just doesn't look good. It's like, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? I just it'll probably be years down the road, and I want her to answer, like, what were you thinking at that time? What were you thinking at that time?
Well, we know she was thinking with the wrong part of her body.
It was damn sure wasn't the wrong head.
That's why I didn't say that. I said the wrong part of her body.
She was thinking about being never mind, I ain't gonna say that.
And you kind of messed up your whole career. I mean, if you were to win this, you talking about legendary. You talking about like the way Tish James is looking in New York right now. She got this dude for $500 million. 500 million. The Georgia case, you can put this man in prison.
Right.
You taking his money in New York, you could put this man in prison. You let him off the hook. You let him off the hook. You want to crown their asses, but you let them off the hook.
That's right.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Danny Green.
Rest in peace. Well, look. Before we get to the final thoughts of the day, I got a 5-star shout out for you.
Oh.
Now, do you know what that is? What that is I come up with these rapid fire questions.
Okay.
So no commentary, Marcus. I know you like to give commentary, but you're going to have to hit it and quit it. I'm going to ask you the question. You say the answer. I'm moving on to the next one. That's it.
Okay.
No explanation. All right, we ready?
Okay.
All right, cool. Offense or defense?
Offense.
High tops or low tops?
High tops.
Who's the greatest NBA player of all time?
Jordan.
What state would you consider the football capital of the U.S.?
Texas.
That's right. And who is the GOAT NFL running back of all time? The GOAT. One name.
Jim Brown.
Thank you. All right. We good. We good. We good. We good.
They're
Forget
brown.
that Barry and Emmett thing. As long as we
They're
both
brown.
got Jim up there as number one,
They're
we
brown.
good. We good.
Jim
All right,
Brown.
Dennis, back to you.
I thought he was gonna say O.J. Simpson. I ain't gonna lie.
Shut
The
your
Juice
mouth.
was good too. He became a character himself, but Juice was pretty good. 2,000 yards in 14 games. You got to give him his props on that. He just
He's in my top 10.
He just loved them snow bunnies. That's all. That was his downfall. Them
Juice is
snow.
loose, baby. Juice is loose.
He loved them snow. He loved them snow. He loved them snow bunnies too much.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, we're getting down to the final thoughts so we can get up on out of here so everybody can enjoy the rest of their day on Saturday. Listen, I'm matter of fact, Marcus, you are the guest. What is your final thoughts for the day?
Just look, with everything that's going on, man, show people love. You don't know what people are going through, and vote. I cannot, for people who are, and stay informed. People, I heard this from so-and-so. I need y'all to go out there, stop being lazy. Back in the day, we used to have to do microfiche remember the old microfiche at the library? Now you have information at your hand in an instant, and y'all still uninformed. Like I said, felon open book test. You got to be real lazy the fellow open book test. And some of y'all are felon open book test. So don't do that. Don't be like that.
That's a good way to put it.
Y'all felon open book test, man.
Okay. Chocolate girl.
I'm going to echo the voting part and staying informed politically. Politics affects every aspect of your life, whether you think it or not. I'm telling you, it does. And I mean, every aspect. Politics is local. Make sure that you get involved in your local politics, but you need to vote in every primary, in every runoff, and every election. You just need to vote. You need to. It's a civic duty. I know you guys don't get civic in school anymore. No more civics class, but that doesn't mean that you don't need to learn about your country and the way it operates. I get so many people questioning me about why didn't the president do this when he was in office, talking about Obama. And I'm like, do you know that the president can't do that? Yes, he can. He could do the executive order. That's the first thing they say. Can he do the? No. There's only certain ways you can use that. People don't even understand that. People don't even understand. Some people didn't even know that Supreme Court justices serve for their life. Some people didn't know that. Whole life.
I just don't understand, and I'm sorry to disturb you. I just don't understand how everybody just put everything on Obama. Do you know we had a raggedy ass president named W before him? That nobody seems to remember that raggedy motherfucker named W. That was before him. It's just Obama was there. He do this.
Wait, Dennis. Let me tell. I'm about to tell you why nobody remembers W. Because T was so horrible, they done forgot W's horribleness because we got worse those last 4 years. That's why they don't remember that W. But anyway, y'all need to get in. I'm gonna echo him and say you need to get involved. I'm gonna also echo him and say, yes, be kind to people because you don't know what they're going through. But I'm also gonna say the third thing is let's protect the children, y'all. Because whatever's going on now, just think about your children and your grandchildren coming behind you. They're going to have to live in this after you're dead and gone. And I'm telling you, that's one of the things that I look at. When I look at my little grandson, he's only 2. And I look at him and I think about what we're going to leave behind for him as a little black boy. And he's going to grow up to be a black man in this country. And we all know who they are dismantling all the protections for black people specifically. That's what they're doing. And trying to erase our history in the process. But you weren't about what Cat Williams said. You got to, black people, we got to get it together. Damn what Cat said. I don't care what Cat said. I don't care about Club Shay Shay. I don't care about Mason, what's his fool's name? I don't care about Mason Cameron and all this crap. You need to be learning your civics and keeping up on what's really going on and voting. That's what's important. Especially if you got kids and grandkids and you're not paying attention, shame on you. That means you're selfish. You don't give a damn of nothing but yourself. I'm not like that. So that's my thoughts. That's my preaching, my little chocolate girl moment right now.
Amen.
What's your final thoughts, Dennis?
Amen. I ain't even gonna sit there and do nothing extra with that. We're gonna say amen. God bless y'all. Great day.